Here's a turbo that I completely custom made. I had a special compressor wheel designed to build this turbo. This compressor wheel is it's a mimic of the 67-66 billet compressor wheel from the Precision turbos. However, it's a little bit different because it's taller, and it's also machined down to fit a 2mm superback for a GT35R center cartridge. That way, if anybody wants me to do a Precision 67-66 turbo rebuild and upgrade to ball bearing, I can now upgrade it to the Garrett ball bearing series. This one's a lot taller than the original Precision compressor wheel, so it should also flow more than the original 67-66 compressor wheel. The turbine housing I use in this one is a T4 1.15 divided twin scroll, and I had to machine that from a P-trim to our 67mm turbine wheel, and I had to make these spacers to be able to use this turbine housing. So these go right here and lock into place, and then the clamps go on top of this to hold the bearing housing down into the turbine housing. So here's the machine work that I did on the compressor housing. Now this turbine housing comes with a very strange outlet flange, so I also alter that to work with a 3-inch V-band that's interlocking. Another thing that I did was I took the seal plate here and I machined it to be able to use an O-ring. So here's the machine work I did on the turbine housing. I trimmed all the edges to make sure there's no sharp edges, because if you have sharp edges here, then it can cause the turbine housing to crack. Here's where I machined it for the V-band. The interlocking flange goes directly into the pocket. So a nice and smooth transition from the turbine wheel out to the exhaust. I also include the clamp with this build, and the O-ring is included, so you have everything to make this work. Besides, you probably need a feed fitting, coolant lines, and a drain fitting, but I provide everything for the turbo otherwise. Here's what it looks like with the O-ring on there. Here's our 67mm turbine. Installing the compressor housing.